Allana Potash is a publicly traded corporation with a focus on the acquisition and development of potash assets internationally. Its major focus is on a previously explored potash property in the Danakil Depression, Ethiopia. Their Dalal Potash project has shown significant potential over the currently available NI 43-101 compliant estimates. The company is managed by a strong executive team with significant experience in the potash and fertilizer sectors. Allana has secured financial support from two strategic investors, IFC, a member of the World Bank Group, and Liberty Metals and Mining, a member of the Liberty Mutual Group. In January 2013, SmallCapPower met with President and CEO Mr. Farhad Abasov, where we discussed a number of topics, starting with a review of Allana's developments during 2012.
2012 saw quite a few achievements by Allana Potash. We've raised a critical amount of money in 2012, in early 2012, and we also confirmed the large resource base of our project. In addition to it, we pushed forward our feasibility study, where we plan to finish the feasibility study by the end of January of 2013. In addition to it, Allana continued the consolidation of the Danakil Depression in Ethiopia by acquiring another company there called Nova Potash. By consolidating the area, we not only potentially increase our potash resource, but also we increase the water resource that we need for solution mining.
We believe that a big milestone for the company will be the publication of the bankable feasibility study. When do you expect to get that completed, and what does it mean for Allana?
Allana Potash started working on the feasibility study about 12 months ago. We engaged a German company called Plan to complete our feasibility study. As part of the feasibility study, we're doing full pilot testing of our entire production of plant production process, and that means rock mechanics testing, solution mining itself, solar evaporation ponds, as well as full hydrogeological study. One is also working on flotation, processing optimization, cavern optimization, and so forth. Hydrogeological study is not a part of the feasibility study, but it is an important part of the entire work that we're doing on the project. We plan to finalize the feasibility study by the end of January 2013. And as part of the feasibility study, again, the hydrogeological study as well as environmental impact study will be finalized as well. The feasibility study will be a key milestone in terms of technical de-risking of the project, but also, very importantly, we hope that the feasibility study will validate the low-cost structure of this project. Armed with those two major advantages, I think Allana will proceed with strategic financing for the project. As you know, we've been working on project financing for the last several months, as well as on the special equity financing for the project. But feasibility study is the key milestone that both equity and debt investors are looking towards.
Can you give us a brief overview of the technical advancements Allana has made in the past year with respect to the potash project?
In addition to confirming and proving a very large resource base in the Danakil Depression, Allana has progressed the feasibility study. And the key components of the feasibility study are a solution mining test, solar evaporation, rock mechanics, and processing, in our case, flotation. Those are key components of the entire de-risking strategy, and technically we can say that by the time that we complete feasibility study, the entire process from solution mining all the way to the end product that was envisioned in the preliminary economic study is going to be validated by a feasibility study. So 2012 was a milestone year for technically de-risking this project.
As the company moves from the exploration stage to the development stage, what do you expect to happen with the company in terms of its standing in the market?
We think that a lot of the investors, including strategic investors, will look at Allana and its project with completely different eyes. As you know, when we started with this project about 3 years ago, there were a lot of questions about the resource itself. Then we de-risked that issue, and we've proven a very large resource. After that, we had some questions about water availability because we're in the middle of desert. Temperatures are very high. It's quite a dry environment. And hydrogeological study proved that we have abundant water supply. under our own feet in our own property. And that is also a major achievement for us and major de-risking factor, because for solution mining we'll need plenty of water. So if we take all these factors together, we can say that now the project, at least from the technical perspective, will be taken very seriously, and significant players, including financiers and strategic players, will take much more serious interest in the company.
How do you differentiate your project from other potash projects currently being developed?
Well, there's several major advantages that Allana's project has compared to many other greenfield operational or greenfield projects worldwide. First of all, it's a cost structure. It's a unique combination of geology and climate. We have 40 degrees Celsius year-round on average. It's a very dry environment, so we can successfully operate soil evaporation ponds. In addition to that, most of our potash is a shallow depth compared to many other potash basins in the world. So in combination, these factors will contribute to much lower cost basis compared to many other projects. In addition to the cost structure, we also close to major potash user markets such as India and China. In fact, once we start production, you will be the nearest supplier of potash to India. So those three factors are very important. But in addition to those advantages, I would say that Allana also stands out because of the strategic investors it has succeeded in bringing into the project, such as International Finance Corporation and Liberty Metals and Mines. We are the only potash project right now in the world that IFC has invested in.
Some of the concerns with current potash projects are the cost and time overruns. Time and time again, we have seen the costs shoot up from original estimates, and it takes forever to bring projects to production. How do you think Allana's project is any different? Do you see any major concern with respect to cost escalation or the production timeline being pushed forward?
I think if we compare it to, again, to greenfield projects worldwide, Allana has major cost advantages. And those advantages we hope will be validated during the feasibility study. And we will work in quite a bit of contingencies into all our cost estimates and to make sure that potential overruns, and both time-wise and budget-wise, are curbed or are controlled better. The major, I would say, aspects or factors that will contribute to our ability to control those costs is the availability of experienced personnel. We're lucky to have one of the former senior VPs of Potash Corporation on our board. And Mr. Rick LaCroix has been involved with our project heavily in the last several years, and now he's going to be even more hands-on involved, along with many other potash experts that we have on our board, with both construction and operations. And the key difference is that these are the folks who actually built and ran potash operations. And when you have people with this type of experience involved in the operations, the risk of potential budget overruns is mitigated and minimized.
What should investors expect from the company during 2013, and what are the major investment catalysts?
2013 is going to be a watershed year for Allana Potash. First of all, our feasibility study will be completed in January 2013. Following the feasibility study completion, we hope to put together a financing package for our project. So between January and the middle of 2013, that will be our focus. It will be a debt and equity financing package. But in addition to the financing, we're also working on an offtake. And offtake is also a critical part of the financing package because we'll need a long-term supply agreement in place in order to satisfy lenders' requirements. So I would say in the first half of 2013, the major milestones would be a feasibility study. It will be a financing package and an offtake, as well as we'll be working on securing a mining permit in order to start construction. After feasibility study is done, we will be looking into financing, of course, and we've been working on it for quite a while now. So that is one of the major challenges for any mining venture, but especially in the potash sector where CapEx requirements are quite high. But I think we have an advantage there because our CapEx should be in one of the lowest in the world. But there will be other challenges. Once the financing is secured, there will be a construction challenge, and finding the right EPCM contractor to build This project will be a challenge, but I think we have quite a few companies out there who can handle this challenge. Later on, I think that concurrently, I should say, with construction, we'll start working on training workforce for operations. And we're all started on all these projects, on all these processes, but I do not expect them to be easy at all. But I think we have a very good skill set available within Allana Potash right now to handle all those challenges.
To learn more about Allana Potash, see their investor hub on SmallCapPower.com. SmallCapPower.com. Investment ideas and research.